You know, I wish I had my own pro wrestling company, you know? Then I would be able to do things. Book things, like, maybe, for instance, have people like Bronson Reed dress up in a tuxedo, red tuxedo, and on the back it's writes in big blue letters, Fact for the Blues, and he has Charlie Brown glasses and he has pom-poms. And the other one is another fatty named Kevin Owens, where he's in a thug costume, wearing a saggy pants and one pant leg pulled up to his thigh, and a black shirt that says, I'm black, stuff like that, and a MAGA hat. And they both walk into a McDonald's and see a McMuffin and they fight over it. Classic stories, classic gimmicks. I would be doing that stuff, but unfortunately, I can't. But what can I do? I can shit on other bookers doing stupid stuff that I'd probably be doing too, just for fun. And it actually, but the only difference is mine would be good and stuff, you know? Anyway, mine would be good. And there's this band, and I'm talking about Triple H? You? You're a booker? Whoa, I get to talk shit about your booking. We're gonna go through the lists, aren't we? Let's get going. I can't wait. Let's go. Hello, everybody. It's Bullzie, and today we're talking about Triple H's bookings over the years. Okay, so, alright. Just so you know, I'm just gonna lay it out for you guys and what I'm gonna talk about. We'll start by discussing 2018 through 2019 NXT, just the ones I know. So if I'm missing anything, it's because I don't remember it. Either A, I watched it and just forgot about it, or B, I just didn't see it at all because I was bored. Who knows? And that stands for like Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live 2022 through 2024. So basically, I'm only going to be talking about ones that are like there. At least the things I know, but for NXT 2018, it's going to be like mostly the things because I actually prominently watched it through the entire year. Meanwhile, in 2019, I kind of just stopped watching because I got bored and like, okay, same old shit, fuck off, bye. But anyway, let's go! So, let's just start with TakeOver Philadelphia, 2018, where I guess I watched it's not really my first TakeOver, but I did start watching around that time, NXT at that time. I've heard of other takeovers, but I didn't really watch NXT on a regular. This is the time I did start watching NXT on the regular. Okay, but this is just as far as I can tell from things that are looking up. But it's mostly going to be about Triple H's booking stuff, so pay attention. Anyway, let's start with the first match. A tag team match. AOP, also known as Authors of Pain, versus Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby the Flimsy Fish, because that guy just breaks down as easily as Punk does, but that's another matter entirely. Going from here, I'm not exactly sure what the story was, so when I tuned in, I thought, at the time, I thought Authors of Pain were the tag team champions. But I guess they lost it to these two midget dudes things. I don't know, but they're called the Undisputed Era, tag team of the Undisputed Era. And Kyle O'Reilly walks with the title like it's a guitar thing, right? And they have a match. So, watching it, I'm not exactly sure what the storyline was exactly, so I'm guessing it was just like, I beat you for tag team titles and I want it back, some shit like that. With the Authors of Pain, I guess. Who knows, but the match was a bore, snooze fest, pretty forgettable. You wouldn't really be talking about it on your way home, it just happens. To talk about the two guys, Bobby Lashley and, well, not Bobby Lashley, Bobby Fish. Yes, Bobby Lashley is a big black dude. Bobby Fish is a flimsy, Punk-esque looking guy. Yeah. But anyway, that's what it is. Bobby the Flimsy Fish is a fishy guy, I guess. And Kyle O'Reilly is a goofy guy. And we'll get to the leader in just a second. But those are the two. They're a tag team, and they are the jobbers for the leader, who's just as small as they are, I guess. Moving on, because that match meant nothing, and they returned the titles. And that's when Bobby the Flimsy Fish got injured. By the way, like that guy gets injured a lot. He just can't stop getting hurt. Anyway, moving on to the second match. Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon. Because Ember Moon is from the moon, I guess. I don't know. But that's just there. So they have a match. Okay, so going into this, let me just start with the storyline here, because when they showed you a video package, literally Shayna Baszler and Ember Moon having a match for an NXT Championship is because Shayna Baszler attacked Kairi Sane, the Pirate Princess, the Asian one, choked her out, and then this caused Ember Moon to be mad and go throw a tiff, and now they have a match at TakeOver. And the one excuse for this to even be happening, outside of Kairi Sane getting beaten up for fuck reasons, is that Shayna Baszler was like, just stop! Okay, let me try to do an Ember Moon impression, okay, here. To fish, to catch fish, you gotta stir the pond. You gotta stir the water to catch the fish. Stuff like that. So that's why it happened, guys. That's why it was for the NXT Championship at a TakeOver. One of the biggest things on NXT at the time, you know. Whatever, fuck it. Go talking about the match. What surprises me the most is how green Shayna Baszler is in the ring. So, like, she could barely do anything inside the ring, and I won't talk about the main classic, but briefly, she was apparently in the semifinals or in the finals of the main classic, and Kairi Sane beat her, I guess. And now she's challenging for the NXT Championship. And what you see is a person who is as green as grass, barely performing at all. Ember Moon carrying her throughout the 5-minute match, and it's just basically target the arm. Which is, quite frankly, sadly, the best match on the card, too! Because it's the shortest, by the way. Anyway, so that happens, and Ember Moon wins anyway, beating Shayna Baszler. Okay, I won't talk about Shayna Baszler's gimmick just yet, because that's, just fuck it. She's a Queen of Spades. She's a monarch of the deck of cards, because according to Triple H, that's a cool idea. But whatever. She was already being pushed to the main event level, even though she barely could do anything. I mean, she got the promos down, but it was barely to convince anybody she was right there. It was just basically half-assed. But whatever. She lost. Riot Woman won. It was a Moon Girl thing over there. There you go. Moving on. I'm done talking about it. Third match. Velveteen Dream versus Cassius Ohno. His career is over. I don't even want to talk about this match, but I remember it. And like I said, I'm going to talk about things I remember and going forward. Okay? So, because, it's just going to be easier making fun of Triple H like this. Anyway, so, the match, there's no real origin to this match either. It's another match that is just happening, so I'm guessing Velveteen Dream and Cassius Ohno just had a run-in at a McDonald's too, and Cassius Ohno got mad that Velveteen Dream ordered the last Big Mac that was on sale, and he was like, "Oh, how dare you! I'm gonna fucking knock you out," or some shit like that, and now they're having a match at a TakeOver. So, there you go. So, Velveteen Dream's character is basically I can imagine, I don't get it. I'm not sure why he acts the way he does. So my guess is, Triple H said something around the lines to him "Yeah, okay, Patrick Clark, I will only push you if you be a black gay guy." And then he has to sell this character as the black gay guy. And there you go. Now you got a black gay guy. And he beats Cassius Ohno. He wins. Yay. The match was fucking boring. It sucked. Like, okay, whatever. Moving on to match 4, which is Aleister Black versus Adam Cole. Now, okay. A match that is actually quite exciting and probably better than the Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler green as grass one, because whatever. The only cool character concept Triple H has ever made was Aleister Black. The Satanistic character who spin back kicks you in the face. Stuff like that, which is a cool move. I'll say that. He does it pretty well. It's a Satanistic character. The only thing he's actually ever made that actually has a personality, something that is a cool concept at all down in NXT. Who would have thought? But, so I won't go rip into that. But as far as that goes, let's talk about Adam Cole and his Undisputed Era thing. So basically, he's the kingpin of the Undisputed Era, right? The punchline, he's the king of the punchline and the Shattered Dreams. He's captain of those two, and he leads them. And apparently, them attacked Aleister Black, and now they're having a no DQ match at TakeOver Philadelphia, which is the 4th match. That's all I really know of it. I'm not sure what else happened, but it seems like Aleister Black attacked Adam Cole attacked Aleister Black, and now they're having a match. And there we go. And it's a no DQ match. There you go. That's happening. The real reason for this fucking match to happen at all is just, I guess they needed to fill that card on that time, so it was just convenient to put Aleister Black there. There we go. Cool, good job, Triple H, good job, you suck. Now for the main event. Johnny Gargano versus Andrade Cien Almas. Okay, so this is the 5th match, the main event, and it's for the NXT Championship. So Johnny Gargano comes out, he's called the Rebel Heart. And Andrade Cien Almas also comes out. I'm not sure what his gimmick was, but he was with Selena Vega, the hot manager chick. But he has Hispanic music playing as his entrance theme. Could you be any more original? So, there we go. So they're having a match. As far as story is concerned, they are rivals because they wrestled in the past and had good wrestling matches. So now they're feuding because they had great matches and stuff. Very original storytelling there, Triple H. Good job. But anyway, that's what's going on because they wrestled a few times. And now this time is for the NXT Championship, and they're fighting it out like it's the Olympic Finals. Well, as typical fashion, Johnny Gargano loses, and Cien Almas wins. But to break down some fun moments that did happen in the match, there was, as far as I can tell, which is the best moment, is Selena Vega interfering in Johnny Cien Almas, and kind of sort of swooping in like a superhero, attacking Selena Vega, taking her out. But Andrade Cien Almas does the knee thing and dry humps Johnny's head to the ring post, rolls him in, and then pins him 1, 2, 3. So that's the match. But the show's not over yet. Johnny gets a standing ovation, okay? The Rebel Heart is such a hard-fought guy. But wait, here comes Tommaso Ciampa, with a crutch and smacking Johnny in the back on his back. He returns because he was injured apparently. I didn't know that. But cool. That concludes TakeOver Philadelphia. Well, this is the first TakeOver. I didn't mind it, but it wasn't well written out, I say that much. This is just one of Triple H's kind of bad booking things, you know what I'm saying? But moving on to TakeOver New Orleans, because let's just move on. TakeOver New Orleans. First match to talk about. It was a 6-man ladder match to crown the first inaugural North American Championship, the Shiny Gold. People gonna climb a ladder to fight for that, dangling mid-card title. Stuff like that, yeah. It's a new championship for people to fight for. Yeah. So So going from there, what is happening? Well, first things first, never mind. We didn't have qualifying matches. Wow. Well, who would have thought? Wait a minute. Lars Sullivan, Velveteen Dream, and Adam Cole, and Killian Dane were put into the match? In addition to new guys who are debuting are also in the match without actually performing to be on the spot on the card? What? And Ricochet and EC3, by the way. So wait a minute. How come there was no build-up to this? There's literally no build-up to the North America Championship. It was just like, hey, look, we got shiny new gold, and we're just gonna put some guys in there in hopes people just like the chaos we ensue in the ring and stuff like that. By the way, hey, the match was 55 fucking minutes long. Good, thanks, I wanted that. And Adam Cole wins because we needed this fucking long-haired hippie fucking midget-looking turd who gets cucked out by Britt Baker in the future to be our North America champion. Thank God. I couldn't wait to see the reign. Thanks, Triple H. Moving on. We're still going to talk about it, though. Because this is basically a put-together slapstick of like, fuck it. I'm not even going to bother. Just put them all in one match. Just pick a random guy and put him in. I don't care. I want to focus on my Ciampa and Garganos. Stuff like that. The things he did. Stuff like that. Yeah, there we go. Oh, so Adam Cole won. Yeah, he should have been Velveteen Dream, the gay guy. But fuck you. We're going to pick somebody else. Thanks. Moving on. We're done talking about it because it means nothing. Second match. Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon again because we needed another one, alright? Okay. Shayna Baszler, the Queen of Spades, the Queen of a fucking deck of cards. She's a Queen of Poker or some shit because she's an MMA chick and she's the Queen of Poker, you know? You get it? She's Queen of Spades, you get it? Fuck it, whatever. Ember Moon loses the title to this fucking green-ass grass bitch because Triple H apparently has a hard-on for ugly chicks that look like a dick with hair on its head. So that's one to take notes, okay? But the build-up to this match is basically the same thing. Shayna Baszler attacking people, things like that. Kairi Sane makes her return only to be choked out in a match by Shayna Baszler because, by the way, because she's an MMA chick, of course she would choke somebody out. Good to know that Shayna Baszler is just as creatively challenged as her boss himself. Yay! I'm glad. Oh, who would have thought? Anyway, the match goes in, and I'm not sure how she wins the match in New Orleans, but this match was far much worse, and Ember Moon was just kind of having to sell the arm injury as she was just to sell the fact that she was too hurt to pin Shayna Baszler and shit like that. Just so Shayna Baszler could win the match and be carried to look like a good strong woman shit like that. She's a bi woman, by the way. We need an ugly bi chick to be our champion, I guess. That's Triple H. And she was green as grass. She couldn't wrestle at all. She could barely perform at all, but she knew BJJ. She could kick your ass! Stuff like that. But she didn't deserve it. She was not ready for it, but Triple H decided to push her out the top of the card, regardless of her flaws. Oh, but she could cut a good promo. Barely cut a good promo. Okay, that's the key word. Barely. She barely cut any good promo. She's mad at it. She's still mad at it. Anyway, moving on because, done talking about it. New Orleans, okay. Roderick Strong. Okay, well, hold on. AOP, also known as Authors of Pain, Undisputed Era, and Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne, who is the forgotten champion of a forgotten NXT thing. Don't mess with Pete Dunne, he'll play with your fingers. Yeah, he's a tough guy. Anyway, those three were in a triple threat match. And by the way, it was replaced with Adam Cole. Bobby Fish was replaced with Adam Cole because Bobby Fish was injured. Good to know that the glue isn't holding Bobby. Don't take lessons from flimsy Phil! moving on, staying on topic here before we freak out. So these tag teams have a match. Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne were just paired together for fuck reasons that are going to be brought up later. AOP is in the match because why not? And the Undisputed Era, who weren't in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, we'll talk about briefly, were also there. And it was for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic and for the Tag Team Championships. So what was going on? So this is the start of things. Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne decided to team together after their match for the United Kingdom Championship. Yes, that's what the title was called. So there's no real reason why they decided to pair up together. It's just happened. Not yet, at least, but we'll get to that. You're gonna love this excuse. So they make it to the finals, and they have to fight AOP. AOPP. I love that name. Authors of Pissing. I'll call them that next time. So they have a match, but Adam Cole and, Kyle O'Reilly's big idea is to interfere in the match. And then after their interference, William Regal comes out and makes it a triple threat match for the NXT Championships and for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Because of course they were going to do it. Because the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole were too retarded to understand that they're going to be defending the titles regardless. Now it's a tag team thing. Triple threat tag team match. Yeah. So it makes it to New Orleans, the whole match. So at the end of the match, the match was boring throughout the time. You didn't really care about anything. The only real cool thing was Kyle O'Reilly screaming then falling out of the ring because he was suplexed. Classic Kyle O'Reilly. He at least is trying to entertain. He's like a pony in a field of donkeys. He at least stands out. He at least stands out, okay? Okay. So, when Pete Dunne is about to win it and he was pinning somebody within the ring, Roderick Strong, despite about winning the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics, and in addition to that, winning the Tag Team Championships, attacks Pete Dunne, and then does his finisher on him, whatever it is. It's him flipping him and him landing on his knee or something. I don't know why, but it's there. So when he does that, he pulls Adam Cole, I believe, over Pete Dunne, and the ref counts 1, 2, 3. So Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly are basically are still retaining the Tag Team Champions, are now also the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic winners. Roderick Strong cost his own team with Pete Dunne to become the new Tag Team Champions and to be the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic winner. Just to join the Undisputed Era. Yes, he was joining the Undisputed Era. Now, get this. Back then in 2017, Adam Cole and his stupid jobbers were trying to recruit Roderick Strong since their debut, okay? And they were trying to get him on their team for so long. And that was an ongoing thing, I guess, throughout 2017 through 2018. And now, in that very moment, Roderick Strong is just like, fuck it, I'll join them now. Huh? Like, why? You made it to the finals with Pete Dunne, so just so you can join a team you were rejecting the entire time? Okay. I'll pretend it makes sense, Triple H. Thanks for such awesome storytelling. Friendship and betrayal with Pete Dunne versus Roderick Strong that doesn't play any major factors in the Undisputed Era. Yeah, but they get TV time for it, at least. Anyway, done talking about that shit show. Let's talk about the fourth match at New Orleans. Aleister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT Championship. And Aleister Black wins the NXT Championship. Cool. But it's the fourth match, and guess what? The match wasn't even about the NXT Championship, despite it being on the line. This is what the storyline actually looks like, people. Now pay attention. Basically, it's Andrade being almost being pissed off that his manager was disrespected, and it was like, I'm gonna beat you up, Aleister Black, how dare you, and shit like that, and that leads to a match at TakeOver. That's literally what the storyline was. Andrade Cien Almas being pissed off his manager was disrespected. Okay, whatever. Okay, but at least the guy won, right? There's not much story to it. It doesn't really mean anything because Triple H didn't focus on it. Because I guess it wasn't his... good to know, Triple H. We know what Triple H's priority is lie. And it was two midgets he loves for some reason. But we'll talk about it right now. Match 5, TakeOver New Orleans. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa with their 55-minute banger of a match. Go, okay. Let's just talk about the storyline between it. So, okay, the build-up to this match and how this match even happened actually has some semblance of a story, okay? So this is what happens. Johnny Gargano, after TakeOver Philadelphia, comes out and addresses the NXT audience. People are holding up signs of, like smiley face signs of Johnny Gargano. Those t-shirts and shit like that. Literally, his t-shirt is a smiley face. Like literally a smiley face or a winking face. I'm not sure what it was. But there it was a smiley face. It's the rebel heart, Johnny Gargano. Stuff like that. But Johnny Gargano basically turns his attention to Tommaso Ciampa, saying, Tommaso Ciampa, I'm coming for you! And then, after that, Andrade Cien Almas, along with Zelina Vega, decided to come out and start bragging how Johnny Cien Almas keeps beating Johnny Gargano again and again and again for no real reason. Like, Johnny Gargano didn't even call him out for one, and he was turning his attention to somebody else. In addition to that, as they were trying to antagonize Johnny Gargano, attack him unprovoked. Which, like, what? And then Candice LeRae comes out and makes the save, and Johnny and his wife Candice fight off the big bad people. And Zelina Vega, along rings, outside of the ring, standing next to Johnny Cien Almas is like, we need to get a tape to keep meeting you people. And I'm just sitting in my chair like, bro, he was literally moving on from you, you guys, you shit fucks. Like, the problem was already solved at Philadelphia. Like you're the ones instigating it. Oh, but the heel, Bullzie, suck my fucking left nut. Anyway, talk about this. After Zelina Vega bitches about they can't get rid of Johnny Gargano, even though Johnny Gargano decided to turn his attention on Tomato Humper over there, he decides his bright idea is to literally be like, you know what, if you know what, beat me in another match and I'll leave NXT. He literally just puts his job on the line for no real reason. No beneficial reason. No actual real storyline to put his job on the line, and not like he was failing because everybody loved him down in NXT. But meh, whatever. We'll just do it. Why not? So they have their fourth match, which was a failure and shit. So this is what happens. So Tommaso Ciampa interferes in Johnny Wrestling's match, costing him the NXT Championship and his job, which is Johnny's own fault because he decided to put his job on the line for the real no good reason. Just because I guess he was pissed off people were making fun of him at ringside. Cool. But that happened, and now he's leaving NXT. Tommaso Ciampa waves goodbye, and that's all she wrote, folks. Fun fact, Jenny from New York was sitting there saying, this is a good opportunity to have Daniel Bryan wrestle with Johnny Gargano against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. Not a good JD progression, but that's what he was saying. Which was, everybody was mocking him for, by the way. That was a bad idea. But we'll talk about the storyline between the build-up to New Orleans, okay? So, as the build-up is happening, Johnny Gargano kept attacking Tommaso Ciampa at ringside, outside the ring, at his home, and all that stuff like that. So, as he's being attacked by Johnny Gargano constantly, there's just footage even Johnny Gargano going after Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa's big idea is to hold off on calling the police, and then go to talk to William Regal to get a match with Johnny Gargano and a non-sanctioned match for Johnny Gargano's job. So basically the thing they already did with Gianni Ciannolo, but they're doing this time with Ciampa. Like, why? Like, so Johnny's gonna wrestle in a company he doesn't even work for one, as far as narrative is concerned. And two, like, Tommaso Ciampa could have just, like, solved all his problems by calling, yeah, this guy's badgering me, but I'm gonna ignore that and just have a match with the guy that doesn't work for the company anymore. The guy I already got rid of. Okay, fine. And so now they have their match. So we get to the video package, okay? Ciampa explains his reasons why. Now, talk about the freaking backstory of it is that Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano were formerly a team called DIY, which incidentally really is a team name that really has no real meaning to it at all. But they were a team, they were fighting others of pain in a ladder match, and they failed. And that's when Tommaso Ciampa turned on Johnny. And that's the story. That's the friendship and betrayal. That's this whole, start of the blood feud thing. But his reasons at the video package is, like, bizarre. So he does give a somewhat convincing why he turned on Johnny, because there was something around the lines of, it was docs online that Ciampa would be replaced as a tag team partner for Johnny. Something like that. But it's not real reasons to be angry at Johnny Gargano. Okay? So they have to come up with another excuse. It was like, well, Johnny, you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. And that's what he says, which really doesn't really make much sense either. Being that we don't really know what Johnny did to himself to get warranted attacked. So it's still vague. And another excuse is thrown out like, I tore my ACL in the match. Which, by the way, Johnny has never attacked Ciampa at that point, and he wasn't even the one that injured Ciampa, so we can't say that either. So the ultimate excuse they have to come up with is basically well, you're selfish, Johnny. You're selfish. So Ciampa basically turned on Johnny Gargano because his best friend is selfish. Yeah, Triple H is great at making storylines here. He was able to create some compelling stuff to justify a reason why Johnny or Ciampa would have animosity towards each other. Thanks, Triple H. You're a hero. So the match happens at New Orleans, and this is going to be fun to make fun of. The only good moment was Ciampa being powerbombed on concrete. And he took it like a champ, and that was on his Customer return. But here's another moment that just makes me scratch my head. Ciampa does a backdrop on cardboard on Johnny, and it was literally on the cardboard. Like, something that you wouldn't believe would hurt at all. Johnny sells it like he just fell on spikes, and Ciampa sits on the ring clapping and patting himself on the back for it. Now, that's not... The patting on the back isn't a problem I have with it. Johnny just steals it. But it's the cardboard. Like, am I supposed to believe Johnny's in serious pain after being dropped on cardboard and after Ciampa was powerbombed on concrete? Okay, fine. Whatever, I'll roll with it. Oh, here's another one that stands out to me the most. There was, like, this Johnny fan. This fat fucking Johnny fan. Holding with one crutch, I guess. Alright? So Ciampa steals his crutch. And this fat Johnny red t-shirt wearing dude hops away. No, literally. He literally just hops away after his crutch was taken. He just hops away. So you could tell it's a plan from a mile away, and then he just kind of just hops away. Okay, fine. I'll suspend my belief for you, Triple H. I'll do it just for you. And Ciampa loses to his own knee brace in the end. And that's the match. That's the match. One of the worst takeovers Triple H has ever had, if not the worst. Yay. Also, 55 fucking minutes long. Why does it need to be 55 minutes long? Yeah, no, that's out of the way. I'm fucking done talking about that fucking shit show of a fucking pay-per-view. We're fucking moving on from it. Fuck you. Fuck that shit. Going on to TakeOver Chicago 2, which was actually more fun TakeOver. First match, Undisputed Era and versus 1-2. Just bear with me, okay? Just bear with me. So, the match consisted of Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. So, obviously, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch are 1-2. Okay? So, the match happens. I honestly couldn't tell you how these four even got paired together. It sort of just happens. And I guess, supposedly, they became number one contenders off screen. And they did help Pete Dunne in a six-man tag against the, Undisputed Era, I guess. Bobby the Flimsy Fish was injured, so Roderick Strong had to take over as the tag team champion. As one of the tag team champions. So I'm guessing that's why Roderick Strong extrinsically joined, because they needed another member to be champion. So Roderick Strong, ready to start Europe. There we go. So like I said, I can't really tell you how the match happened. But you want to know how 1 and 2 became a tag team? Well, this is the story. Oney and Danny fought so much. Oney and Danny liked fighting so much, and they kept fighting so much, and they fought so much that they decided to fight together as a tag team. And Triple H was like, I knew a perfect name for you guys. It's 1 and 2. Go out there and have a banger with the Undisputed Era. So the match actually happens. Adam Cole is the North American champion. Yeah, see, that title still... Yeah, this title was remembered. And Adam Cole was directed because he interfered, and he was like, I didn't do nothing. So, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch put on a fairly fine performance and shit. But Roderick Strong was called a legit wrestler around these lines. So he decided to amplify his legitness by knee striking Oney Lorcan's face, breaking his nose. Yeah, that's what you get for being an unprofessional fuck, Oney Lorcan, Mr. 1. And I guess Danny is 2. Danny Burch is 2. What the fuck kind of... Like, I'm seriously curious what went into Triple H's head when he decided to name them 1-2. Their team name was just 1-2. I need to understand something here. But anyway, Undisputed Era retained their tag team championships with a non-existent storyline outside of it, I guess, being a Cinderella story with ugly bald dudes fighting for championships. Fine. Match 2, Nikki Cross versus Shayna Baszler, the not so good as a wrestler girl. I will say this, the creative team actually did their good job of making Shayna Baszler at least a fun, entertaining champion, or at least a believable heel. So, the good idea was to make her a cocky, arrogant bitch, strutting around because she won it so early. It makes sense because she won the title so early. So she's acting like the tough shit, perfect for an MMA by ugly chick like that, right? She has a match with some gal that is Bayley 2.0 or something. And Shayna Baszler keeps bullying her because she's a weak girl. But this weak girl bounces back in the match because she was a number one contender that we will not talk about. That she happened off screen, which is too much to talk about because it doesn't really make sense anyway. So, this Bayley 2.0 was wrestling Shayna Baszler, and Shayna Baszler was torturing her. But she bounces back convincingly and got some satisfying shots. And I'm not sure if she was choked out or she tapped out. I'm not remembering, but Bayley 2.0 lost. Oh, by the way, her name was Dakota Kai. Yeah, that's her name. But Nikki Cross. And I really like this episode, by the way. But this stems from the build-up to TakeOver Chicago 2. Nikki Cross comes out and decides a mock match and declares Dakota Kai as the referee. pins Shayna in a mock match and pretends she's the new NXT champion. Which, by the way, doesn't really actually lead up to Chicago 2 of her thinking she's still the NXT champion, by the way. It was just, Shayna Baszler just had the title again. Because Triple H decided, like, that's too complicated for me. Just give it back to Shayna Baszler. You're confusing me. And Shayna Baszler won in a 5-minute boring match because she still can't compete properly. And she won with a choke. Oh. Cool. MMA. We'll just give her a chokehold thing. Yeah. Makes sense. Meh, whatever. And it wasn't even a believable looking chokehold. Moving on, I'm done talking about that shit show. Velveteen Dream versus Ricochet. The one and only. Want to know exactly what? Ricochet? Meh. What? Like, he's a Ricochet as bullets bounce off of him or something? Or he bounces off walls? Meh. Well, he's the one and only Ricochet. Ricochet, the Andrew Tate looking fucker, who wrestled Velveteen Dream in TakeOver Chicago 2. I must say, this also storyline had some entertaining stuff into it. Anything you could do, I could do better. I actually found this a bit entertaining. So the build-up looks like this. Velveteen Dream and Ricochet were wanting championship, something like that, and they kept showing each other off. Lars Sullivan steps in front saying, no, it should be me, fuck you two. And it was stuff like that. So all these three people want to be NXT champion, right? So Triple H decided to book a handicap match for the number one contenders for the NXT championship. And thus deciding that Velveteen Dream doesn't like sharing the spotlight, so abandons Ricochet to Lars Sullivan. I know people are scratching their heads. Well, trust me, I'll get to that later. We'll talk about that later trust me, okay? Just bear with me, okay? So after that, they decide to match with each other at TakeOver Chicago 2. So this is the third match, okay? Ricochet won because Velveteen Dream didn't act gay enough for the big boss man Triple H. In NXT, at least. Not for Vince. Yeah. Should have vamped up the gayness, Patrick Clark. Sorry. Now, as far as NXT Championship, Lars Sullivan versus Aleister Black, back to how this happened. Lars Sullivan won the NXT Championship, and thus decided the handicap match between Velveteen Dream and Ricochet versus Lars Sullivan for the number one contenders for the NXT Championship. Don't fucking ask me why this even occurred. It's Triple H. You're gonna have to ask him why he decided that was a better idea to do. I don't know why it couldn't just been a triple threat match exactly, but listen, I can only fucking tell you what happens, okay? So it's just Triple fucking H. He's retarded. He's a nose tart. What do you expect? So Lars Sullivan wins because Velveteen Dream leaves the fucking match and cost himself the chance for the NXT Championship because whatever. He just doesn't like to share the spotlight. And I guess you needed a reason to set up the Chicago TakeOver 2 match for them. But Lars Sullivan and Aleister Black don't really get build up, but Aleister Black does fight one of the Sanity members called Eric Young and successfully defends his reign as NXT champion, so there's that. But the match doesn't have much build-up, but the only build-up that really exists is Lars Sullivan beating up Aleister Black, then placing him on the announce table and pounding his chest over him. Blah, 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 blah. No, literally, that's really what he was saying to him as he was pounding his chest. Just blah, 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 blah. Then walked away. Okay, going to the match. The match was fine. Lars Sullivan was fun. There was a moment where he botched the shit out of that, but people called it off. But ignore Shayna Baszler's shitty botchy shit in the ring. Fuck you. So Lars Sullivan takes one back mask to the face and eats it like a champ, but then takes another and then gets pinned. Apparently that broke his jaw too. Well, good. Well, thanks, Aleister, proving you're a true Satanist. But Aleister Black won. There we go. Take over the main event. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah, so this match actually had a bit more story, and a lot of characters were a bit more characterized. I'm talking about the ones that were booked too. But so was Johnny and Tommaso Ciampa. I'll give the writers this credit for where credit's due, because at least we have a reason, and there was build up to a match that actually made us believe there's heat. But the reasons why it even occurred in the first place is still stupid. At least it was fun, they're entertaining, and the match was 55 minutes because Triple H likes long, boring matches, but this match wasn't too boring at least. The New Orleans match was, though. But this match actually was fast-paced. But talking about it now, let's just talk about the build-up to it. Johnny Gargano decided to set his sights on the NXT Championship. Aleister Black agrees, but Tommaso Ciampa attacks Johnny Gargano because I always win the war, shit like that, and then stuff because reasons. So there's that. So Johnny Gargano's pissed off, reasonably this time, for being lost the NXT Championship despite winning against Tommaso Ciampa. If Tommaso Ciampa didn't want Johnny back, then he shouldn't have went to William Regal to ask for a match for a guy that was already fired. Fuck off, you tomato humper. Anyway, moving on. So as this build-up is happening, it's basically things that the creative team is deciding to help add more heat. Johnny attacking Johnny, but Ciampa attacks Johnny back, and this hurts Candice LeRae, and this causes Ciampa to be like, well, you attacked me, I was just defending myself. But all of this shit started with Ciampa anyway, so you could believe he was an asshole. Him mocking Candice LeRae as she was cutting a heartfelt promo, and he was fake crying against her, which is savage as it gets. She slapped him, which the NXT Raw creative team or Triple H were too pussy to make Ciampa beat her up because equality. But fuck it, it's PG, I guess. But the match starts being built up and shit. They have believable promos, and it leads to a Chicago main event. Right. So the match starts off kind of silly. And I'm being nice when I say it's silly because it starts out with crutches and they fight. And they start fighting like there's some sort of Jedi Masters and shit like that. Like, literally, like, if there was sword fighting with crutches. Like, what is this? Fucking, like, come on. Fuck off with that shit. It's a street fight. Yeah, the match was a Chicago street fight. So, there are a few moments. I'll talk about the good moments. There was one where Ciampa was kind of smacking the back of Johnny's head like an MMA fighter. There was one where Ciampa launches Johnny Gargano neck first. Well, his head is between a chair and launches him into a steel chips, and Johnny sells it like a motherfucker as he's having a seizure. Pretty good. Ciampa took some heavy bumps like a champ. And the ending was Tommaso Ciampa spitting on the wedding ring, making Johnny so pissed off that he just recovers from all his damage and so pissed off going, how dare you CM Punk pissy mode activated, and starts beating up everybody. But Ciampa was handcuffed on the back and starts being super kicked on the head, fucking up his neck because Johnny Gargano is a reckless motherfucker. And people are trying to stop him from being a reckless CM Punk guy. And then Tommaso Ciampa takes advantage, does the... it was a draping DDT. Randy Orton does stuff like that, but Ciampa won with it. And handcuffs and pins Johnny Gargano 1-3. So Tommaso Ciampa basically beat Johnny in handcuffs, which is pretty badass. Johnny loses. By the way, Johnny does look like the lost child of Daniel Bryan and CM Punk if they had a wild night that one time and out came Johnny wrestling. I am Johnny Gargano. I am the greatest wrestler of all time. Johnny loses, and he's just too angry. There we go. Match was actually a lot more fun, I'll give it that. It was fun to see. Should have been blood, but it didn't need to be 55 fucking minutes. Triple H, you fuckwit. yeah, let's talk about Takeover New York 4. This was a fine takeover, I guess. So, our first match. Yeah, we're done with Takeover Chicago. I just want to move on. Takeover Chicago. Not Takeover. Well, Takeover New York 4. First match. Mustache Mountain versus Undisputed Era. And I know what you're already saying. What, Mustache Mountain? Yeah, we're going to get into it. So, this storyline basically is Tyler Bate and Trent Seven versus Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. Yep. So basically, yes, Tyler Bate and Mustache and Trent Seven are Mustache Mountain team called Mustache Mountain because they have mustaches. Yes, this is the logic of Triple H's brain. Oh, they have mustaches? Well, I have a perfect name for you. Mustache Mountain. Yeah, the Mustache Mountain. And they're from Britain. So there's that. So moving forward, at a NXT UK event, I guess, the Mustache Mountain beats the Undisputed Era for the Tag Team Championship. So I guess we could just use the logic of home field advantage, I suppose. So that, but I haven't seen it, but they were just the Tag Team Championships. I don't know why they couldn't just keep the titles on the NXT brand. Not like everybody's gonna see that happen, Triple H. Why would you have a title change off a brand that the NXT titles don't belong on? But it's called NXT UK. They're literally different UK NXT shows, dummy. Just keep them on the brand people usually watch. Let's not fucking confuse people. Anyway, I don't even want this fucking event. This whole sequence just is stupid. What I'm going to talk to you guys about. So they have a second match. It's Mustache Mountain versus Undisputed Era on a TV show, not the pay-per-view, not the takeover just yet. So Undisputed Era are beating up Trent Seven and they're targeting his leg. And Trent Seven is supposed to be selling the leg injury, right? So Tyler Bate finally gets tagged in, and Trent Seven's leg is too hurt, right? Tyler Bate is basically beating up both Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong at the same time. He's just beating them up, right? He's just taking them to death. Trent Seven hops back up, and supposedly, and this is what narrative, as far as narrative is concerned, he still has a leg injury. So he can't really compete that well, right? So Tyler Bate was like, well, you're too hurt. I can't tag you back in. But Trent Seven was like, I want to fight. I want to fight, bruh. I need to be in the match, bro. I need to show them. Even though I'm too hurt. So there's that. So there's one moment where Tyler Bate gets to the corner and Trent Seven tags himself in purposely. Which he, again, still has a hurt leg. So he's just hopping on one leg. Chopping both Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. And Pete Dunne is like, well, not Tyler Bate. I don't know why I mistake Pete Dunne for Tyler Bate, but Tyler Bate is just watching on ringside. This freaking pretend cripple, when he's supposed to be crippled, supposed to be taking on Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. But he doesn't last, and he gets put in the figure 4. Tyler Bate interferes, right? The ref said, interfered one more time and disqualifying you. Despite the fact that Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong kept interfering the entire time, which, if by default, should have been required as a disqualification. But whatever, we'll fucking ignore that. So as Kyle O'Reilly has Trent Seven into figure 4 on the hurt leg, Tyler Bate, being told that he can't interfere again, has a towel, turns to the crowd saying, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And throws a towel in, and now the Undisputed Era are now tag team champions once again. That's the storyline, and that's the setup for TakeOver in New York in their third match. Don't fucking ask me, dude. I didn't even want to break it down. That's what happened. I'm sorry. I don't know why he did this. I don't know why Triple H decided that was a good idea. But fast forward, because really, it's just forgotten about throughout the next series of TV and shit like that. And Trent Seven, and there was one moment where Trent Seven actually tries to give a reason why he did what he did. It was like, well, I'm a fighter. I have a warrior mentality. And thanks, cool. Back to TakeOver New York 4. It was a fine match, but Undisputed Era won and retained their titles against the Muff Death Mountain. Fuck that fucking match. I'm not talking, like, fuck you and fuck that match. Fuck you, H. Yeah, what did I do? Match 2, Velveteen Dream and versus EC3. Velveteen Dream won the match because Triple H told him, you didn't beat Ricochet because you weren't acting gay enough. You better amplify that gayness if you want to get a bigger push. And that's what Velveteen Dream did. So, the storyline, this one kind of looks like this. Velveteen Dream, and it's basically the same thing with Ricochet. Velveteen Dream abandons EC3 in a tag team match and shit like that because he doesn't like sharing the spotlight. Because whatever. And EC3 is like, bro, what the fuck? And that sets up their TakeOver New York match. So basically, the same thing with Ricochet. Okay, whatever. Fuck it. So there was no real build up to it. I mean, there's one moment where they had a promo together, and EC3 kind of just destroys Velveteen Dream on the mic, and it was like a nice fanny pack. But here's the thing about this. Let me just talk about EC3 for a bit. EC3 had a winning streak going for him. Like, he was unpinned, unsubmitted, right? That was since his return. Well, at least after TakeOver New York, right? Or New Orleans, rather. So, he had an undefeated streak going in. He had the victory, cutting cool promos. He was fun to see, an attraction. Ripped dude, strong guy, looking guy, right? So, after TakeOver Chicago 2, Triple H decides to feed this guy to Johnny Gargano. After Johnny Gargano's loss. And even though EC3, the only good thing going for EC3 was a winning streak. Fuck it. Fuck you, EC3. Johnny Gargano's more important. I'm guessing what went down. So basically, the win for Velveteen Dream at TakeOver New York was just washed away of any less important. It was just less important than it would have been if he was still had that winning streak. But thanks to Triple H and his ass at booking, he was like, Johnny Gargano's more important. And he was like, I have to go over you, EC3. I'm a 5-star wrestler. And there you go. EC3 got sacrificed for Johnny Gargano in hopes for the build-up for Velveteen Dream, where Velveteen Dream's win was less meaningful because Triple H wanted to feed a fucking actual marketable person to a fucking midget. Thanks, Triple H, you're a real one. Moving on to match 3. Ricochet versus Adam Cole for the North American Championship. This match was fine. I liked it. Ricochet, to talk about Ricochet for a bit, honestly, NXT 2018 was his best to showcase, you know? He did more than just flipping dives. He was actually very strong, very technical. He could there was one match where he was wrestling Dominik Dijakovic when Dominik Dijakovic didn't really have a name, but he does a impressive suplex, and it was 3 minutes. He shows that he's not just high-flying, flippy guy. So he was mostly characterized down in NXT as a freak of nature who could do just about anything, with the exception of promos. So there's that. He sells pretty well too. Like Ricochet sells pretty good. So there's that. Adam Cole, well, he sucks dick. I'm not sure what he was doing exactly outside of sucking dick to make Triple H and Shawn Michaels love this guy to death. Just sucking the dick. He probably was good at sucking dick. That's the only explanation. But the storyline kind of was like, I'm going to win the North American Championship. No, you're not. And stuff like that. Well, that's really all you really need, I guess. No real build up though. But there's one moment Adam Cole was saying, I went over the world and defended the North America Championship. Nobody knows that because nobody sees other things outside of WWE. Again, just do it on the product so that way people know. Whatever. But Danny Burch had a match with Adam Cole at one point, and he was 2. He was the bald guy. Nobody reacted to that, though, but I wanted to point that out because it's just funny to me. Nobody cared about the match, and they did their best to make it entertaining and shit. There was one moment and Danny just headbutts Adam Cole, and he was just like, oh shit. He got freaking dizzy. But to the match, Ricochet became the new North America champion, beating Adam Cole. You know that, stuff like that. There's not much to talk about the match. I mean, it was pretty cool. There was one moment where Ricochet does a somersault moonsault, and it was well timed too. The super kick. That moment was really good. The only problem is 20 minutes, which is kind of fairly short for an NXT, to be fair. But 10 minutes would have sufficed. It would have been much better under 10 minutes. But moving on to match 4, Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. The Pirate Princess. Oh, you're going to love this storyline. The Pirate Princess was apparently too much of a nice girl to frickin' bring the fight, despite being the winner of the Mae Young Classic. But it only takes one moment on a TV show, for her to get serious and want to see, like, I'm going to kick your ass. But her character was basically Pirate Princess, even though she did nothing pirate-like. But she was the pirate Asian princess. I would have been sold on her being a pirate if she ran around with a fucking pirate sword, breaking into houses and looting the whole goddamn place and then running away with them. Going, "Arr, the fruity booty," or some shit like that. It would have been funny watching her go, "Arr," or some, no, whatever. Anyway, she fights the queen of fucking poker over there, the Shayna Baszler, who is as green as grass, who sells her finisher basically none times. So the match takes place at TakeOver New York. It's TakeOver 4. Kairi Sane delivers Sane elbows, which is the most appealing to the match at all, because Shayna Baszler just kept no-selling it. She literally just kept no-selling the Sane elbow. And it takes like a roll-up pin to beat Shayna Baszler. So, okay, whatever. Kairi Sane's at least the new NXT champion. The Pirate Princess, who doesn't act like a pirate at all. Okay. Okay. Match 5. I'm done with the fucking... Fuck that shit. Match 5. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship. Yep, I know you're confused, but we're going to talk about it right now. Alright. So, you remember the, TakeOver Chicago? Well, Ciampa set his sights afterwards, after that, sets his sights on Aleister Black for the NXT Championship, right? So the build-up just relied mostly on Twitter because Triple H doesn't know how to write for shit, but Ciampa had to do the work for himself. And shit by tweeting. That's how that's how the story was built up. Tommaso Ciampa tweets. Fucking awesome, Triple H. You're fucking... Fuck you. You with your fucking shit. Okay, let's just talk about the match. So, the match was 25 minutes long because he was too lazy to book it on a fucking New York because he... More so, he wanted Johnny Gargano there. Whatever. Okay, so the match is happening right then and there. Okay, it's 25 minutes. It's enjoyable for the most part, right? Ciampa doing heel-esque shit, luring the babyface and doing all that stuff. Being smart and shit. Johnny Gargano interferes, costing Aleister Black the NXT Championship. And Ciampa wins the NXT Championship on a TV taped show. Because, we couldn't have it at a TakeOver, even though Ciampa is the biggest deal in that moment. And apparently in the match, Aleister Black got fucking injured his balls and shit. Because I don't know how he did it, but he did. So this sets up a storyline of who attacked Aleister Black. We all knew it was Johnny Gargano, but let's pretend we don't know. Anyway, they didn't even bother trying to build up anything with Johnny and Ciampa because there's already heat there in the first place. So we won't do anything at all, according to Triple H. It's just Triple H thinking right there. This is gonna have to be a 2-parter, maybe 3-parter. Building up to NXT TakeOver New York. So there was no build up. It was just kind of like expect people to like it anyway. So it's a last man standing match, by the way, and quite frankly, if I do say so myself, was basically probably their best match. And it's 55 minutes long! What? Yeah! Okay. Talking about the match was fine. The match was fine, right? So, going forward, there's some big moments, like Ciampa delivering a chair to Johnny's face, causing a fucking barricade to collapse and all sorts of chaos, and even tried to bury Johnny under all the ruckus, and even threw a timekeeper over on Johnny just to try to keep him down for last man standing match. So pretty cool stuff. Ciampa, there's one of the last moments of the match where Ciampa is begging Johnny and he's cuffed again. And he's begging Johnny, I'm sorry. And Johnny was like, it's too late. You're sorry, it's too late for now. And does a semi-truck knee strike to Ciampa, fucking up his neck even more because he's a reckless little shit fuck. Johnny wrestling is such a great wrestler. He's a great performer. He doesn't hurt people. Whatever, but Johnny hurts himself and now Ciampa wins. Is the last man standing because Johnny Gargano is a too dumb shit to be smart in a match. And there's that. So that's the conclusion of all that, because fuck it. Like an evolution. Well, okay, that's the match. That's the New York match, right? So let's just talk about Evolution. Because there was that pay-per-view existed because Triple H just took that opportunity to drop that title back to Shayna Baszler. That fucking green-ass grass MMA I can't wrestle for shit chick. Fuck you. Fuck that. Oh, fucking bisexual penis-looking people is what Triple H prefers to push. To the top of the curve. Yeah. Alright. There's that. So we got that out of the way, just to throw that out of the way. No, I didn't watch Evolution. It was just basically, women's rights pay-per-view. Oh, yeah, that match. So the storyline of Aleister Black, who attacked Aleister Black, still goes on. They actually did their best to make it entertaining. You would have been more better, though. Who kicked Aleister Black in the balls? Because his balls were injured. That would have been better. Who kicked Aleister Black in the balls? So, there's that. Storyline that goes on. It was okay, but it turns out to be Johnny Gargano. Oh, who would have thought? So, that sets up a match for there to take over War Games, which, by the way, was only 4 matches in total. I mean, there was another match with Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno, which I don't want to talk about. Oh no, my wrestling career. Okay. So, first match was basically, was a one takeover, was a 2 of 3 falls match between Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane for the third time. They're wrestling for the third time. Shayna Baszler wins, even though she doesn't really deserve to be at the top of the card, but Triple H thinks he does, so just ask him. Yeah, it was 23 minutes, I guess. Her longest match of all time. Yeah. Next match is Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano. Now, I already kind of talked about what storyline went into this. Johnny was the attacker all this time. Again, who would have thought? The guy who attacked Aleister Black. Also, lost to Velveteen Dream to become the number one contender for Velveteen Dream to become the number one contender for the NXT Championship. something like that. Well, not really, but it elevated Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream acted gay enough so Johnny could lose. Cool. So, anyway, so that match is happening, and Johnny is acting like a psychopath, because apparently Johnny has just changed, I guess. But at least they're attempting character development here, and I'll give him that. But the match was boring. People were like, oh, this was the best match. No, it wasn't. It was fucking a bore snooze fest. Like, it was boring as shit. Like, Johnny didn't sell anything. It didn't mean anything, and Aleister Black won. The right man won, don't get me wrong. And there's that. And that solves everything. Not really, but Johnny Gargano just lost, and there you go. It just happened. But to Dave Meltzer and everybody else, it was a 4-star match. This fucking bore fest of a fucking match that was slow, meant nothing, it did nothing to enhance Aleister Black or Johnny Gargano. The only thing that stood out the most was Johnny trying to be a psychopath. Okay, cool. Just going back to the well of what Ciampa's already doing. So, match 3, Velveteen Dream versus Tomato Humper over there. Unfortunately, Velveteen Dream didn't act gay enough for the big man. You didn't act gay enough. Sorry, Velveteen Dream. Gonna put Ciampa over. So, yeah. The match was actually much better than the fucking Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano one. I don't know why people thought that match was the best match on the card. It was not! It sucked dick. Shut up and stick it in your mouth. But this match was fine. I mean, it was 33 minutes, but it was bearable. There was moments that mattered. There was selling that actually happened, you know. During the build-up was Velveteen Dream and Ciampa. Their build-up was about... His build-up was like giving the NXT Championship the experience, and it starts with Velveteen Dream accusing Ciampa, and then Ciampa accusing Velveteen Dream and saying you're not tough enough, stuff like that. Yeah, good throwback there. And those two were having fun with promos and shit. That's when Aleister Black made his return and beating up everybody, and even Lars Sullivan. And going, where is it, who is it? And William Regal was like, I don't have no idea. And Johnny Gargano comes in, looking like CM Punk, and kicks him. But no time for that. The build-up looks like something like this. Velveteen Dream and Ciampa promos. Promos building up to that event. They're not the best promos, but they were getting better. That's the good part. There's one moment where Velveteen Dream has a match with Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan wins, despite Velveteen Dream. And this was like the fall. This was like the fall, like not the fallout, but the go home show for NXT War Games, and for the go home show for the NXT War Games, Velveteen Dream loses to Lars Sullivan. A lot of people will be like, well, Lars Sullivan is a monster, so you can't lose to just anybody. Velveteen Dream is literally one of the biggest stars. You fuckwit. Like, again, the booking decisions, you don't have to have Lars Sullivan to lose to people like Tyler Bate or some shit like that. It's Velveteen Dream with the biggest stars on your roster right now. Why not just have Velveteen Dream win? I mean, he's going up against Tommaso Ciampa, the guy who's the main champion right now. Wouldn't you rather Velveteen Dream look as strong as he can be? No, you didn't act gay enough. You didn't act gay enough. Okay, sorry, Triple H. Velveteen Dream, amp up that gayness. Maybe next time you win championships. But that aside, it was a fine match. Velveteen Dream wasn't gay enough against Tommaso Ciampa. So we get to the War Games match. No, I'm not talking about Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno, because it's fucking worthless. It wasn't even booked. It just kind of happens. 4 matches though, because Triple H was like, this is more. Yeah, but more fill in more time. By the way, probably, I'm not sure how long this match was, the War Games match was. I believe an hour and 30 minutes, which is a long-ass fucking time. Okay, here's a thought. Why not just put all 8 people, and yes, it was a War Games match between Undisputed Era with random schmucks and shit. Why not just put them all in one match, all 8 people in that one match, and just begin the fucking match there? Why do we need to wait like 2 to 5 minutes for new opponent to get into the match. Why do we need to do that? Meh, whatever. The build up to the match looked like this. Adam Cole pissed off that he didn't win the America Championship. Ricochet and Pete Dunne wanting both each other's championships. Adam Cole and Roderick Strong versus Pete Dunne and Ricochet. Ricochet accidentally hurts Pete Dunne in some place, and Adam Cole pins Pete Dunne. They both get mad, and then they have a NXT TV match for the NXT North America Championship and the NXT United Kingdom Championship. So both titles are on the line. Yep, so they were wrestling in the match, and it was actually 25 minutes, and it was fairly enjoyable up until Adam Cole and his fucking band of fucking goons, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, interfere, ruining the match. And Diddy was like, disappointing everybody. Who was like, what are you disappointing over? It set up War Games. Yeah, War Games wouldn't have happened with this fucking shit show, okay? There was no reason for Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, or Kyle O'Reilly to interfere. Like, he just basically fucked up a match that people were enjoying. So, fuck off. And if you didn't want it for free, then save it for a takeover. Ah! Moving on. So, basically, Bullzie the Flimsy Fish becomes, cleared again to wrestle. So, hopefully he doesn't get hurt again. Hopefully he doesn't hurt himself again and shit. But that happens. But, Ricochet and Pete Dunne are now fighting with the Undisputed Era, but they need 2 more people, so we'll add the War Raiders. The only person I really know is Ivar and Aichner. Well, I think it's Aichner and Ivar. Yeah, so basically it's just these guys fighting each other, and that's what the build-up looks like. So they all have chaos fighting all over the arena and shit, and William Regal starts saying, "This will take place in the War Games." I already did it, so I'm not going to try. So, fast forward to the Fallout. Well, not the Fallout, but the Go Home, I believe, if it was the Go Home at all. Was Kyle O'Reilly versus Ivar, I think. Kyle O'Reilly beat Ivar. So now we get to the match. So by the way, War Games can't happen if everybody is not in the match, right? So the match doesn't even happen yet, but it lasts for an hour long. Okay, so like each member is basically like, so let put it this way, all right? So each member, if you're waiting 5 minutes for each person to get in the ring, you're roughly, so let's say 2 people are already in the match, and you got like 6 more, right? You're going to be waiting 30 minutes more for other people to get in. And that match, and that in itself, the match lasts for 30 another 30 minutes. So basically an hour-long match, even though you could just put them in the ring all at once and begin it there. But no, we gotta drag it out. We gotta drag it out. That's why I only booked 4 matches. I just want to be lazy and shit. Yeah, because fuck you. Fuck it. Let's just talk about it. So it starts with Ricochet and Adam Cole. Then Kyle O'Reilly makes his way. Then it's Ivar doing his fucking cartwheel shit that makes the Marks fucking bust a nut. Literally, people started loving Ivar because he did fucking cartwheels. Oh, a fat man doing cartwheels. He's so talented. Oh. So there is that. Then it was Roderick Strong or whatever, I think. Or Fish, who knows? It could, who knows? I don't remember exactly how it went. Then it was Eichner or whatever. I don't know his bald guy's name, but he stops Pete Dunne from going in, then runs him himself. Then it was Roderick Strong. Then it was Pete Dunne. Everybody's in the match now. Let the war. And then we have to have the answer. Let the war games begin. And I'm just like, so the match didn't even happen yet? What the fuck? So that happens. They're all fighting. Everybody's in the ring. And there's one moment where everybody decides that all their injuries are gone. And all their just miraculously all healed up. And decided to get in the center of the ring. And everybody's staring each other down in the center of both two rings. Because literally War Games is literally just two rings, I guess. And they're all like arguing. And they're all gonna having a slugfest with each other. So that's that, but Pete Dunne is one that wins it for a team, I believe. So War Games is one. That ends that. This is gonna be like another parter. I'm gonna do NXT 2019 later. Fuck, I'm fucking done. Fuck off! I'm done. See you next time.
I know I deserve to be fired, but when I watch Cookie, I was inspired to be a pigeon flapping my arms till I was tired. Oh well, I go back to getting beat by my wife, it's what's required. I can't book for shit.